Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe if you are new here, and today's video is going to be all about how I apply my foundation. I know I do tons of foundation reviews, but I've never actually sat down and gave you an in-depth version of how I actually apply my face makeup. So before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other videos. Also, you can give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and you can also leave a comment down below on what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. If you want to follow me on any other social media, Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter, you can check my description box. All of that information will be down there. And yeah, if you're ready to see how exactly I apply my face makeup, then just keep watching. I already have my eyes done, did that off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and start on my face. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is make sure you moisturize, and even before you do any of that, I would suggest really exfoliating your face. Make sure you're exfoliating your face at least twice a week. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. Another thing that I do to keep my skin nice and smooth for makeup application is I shave my face with a single blade razor. So I use one of these razors right here. You can find these like absolutely anywhere: Walgreens, Walmart, Target, Amazon, like anywhere. But I do that at least twice a week to get all the hair off my face. I am Hispanic, so I am very, very hairy. But when I am going in with a primer, you're going to really want to find a primer that suits your skin needs. The primer that works for me is the No Problem Prime Essence from Touch and Soul. It's a really great hydrating primer, but it's still effective when filling in your pores. Like I said, I have dry skin, so it is extremely important for me to use very, very hydrating products when I am doing my makeup. Now, if you have oily skin, you want to find a really good mattifying primer. If you want to try like different types of primers, I would suggest going to Sephora and getting samples of them, because you can just get a sample and just try as many primers as you want to see what really works for you and your skin type and your skin problems. So after I prime, we're actually going to go ahead and get started with foundation. So I want to show you guys my current favorite foundation at the moment that I have tried. And that is the Flawless Finish foundation and the Dream Urban cover from Maybelline. I love this on its own, but it's too dark for me, so I mixed this in with it. But I love both of these foundations. I love the finish of both of them. I think both of them are absolutely beautiful. This one has way more coverage than this one does. I would have to build this up if I wore it on its own, but I do just mix them together to get the perfect match, and the finish is absolutely stunning. For the actual application of my foundation, I like to go in with a sponge. Now, this is kind of new to me because I used to use a brush, but this sponge has really changed the game for me, and I love, love, love this sponge. I like the coverage that this provides. It is a little bit of a stiffer sponge, so it doesn't soak up as much product, so I'm getting a little bit more coverage than I would with other sponges. Also, it just makes my foundation literally look so flawless. Like, it just makes my foundation look like my skin, and I love the sponge. So I'm just going to take like a pump of this and then a little bit of the other foundation, and going to start mixing these up and then apply them to my face. Okay, and then I'm just going to start applying this with my finger. And I'm just going to start off with this, and then if I need to build up, I will build up. But if I don't, great. What's also great about the sponge is that it will, if you apply too much, it'll soak up some of the product, so everything doesn't look cakey. And I just start tapping this in pretty aggressively, honestly. I don't think there's like really a technique that you need to follow when blending your foundation out with a sponge, other than you need to tap, not drag. Tap, not drag. Another thing that's important is to drag your foundation down your neck. Okay, and then I'm going to build it up only in the places that I absolutely need to. So I can definitely still see a little bit of things right here on my cheeks, and then right here, and then back towards here. Another thing that I forgot to mention is you also want to find a foundation that really caters to your skin's needs as well. These foundations that I'm using are both very, very hydrating, so that is why I absolutely love them for my skin. And they're both very, very thin, but still full coverage, so they make my skin look like skin. The foundation doesn't look cakey at all. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top of my skin. It just looks like I put a moisturizer on, and this is my skin. So now I'm done with my foundation. I'm going to go ahead and start on my concealer, and I'll show you how I apply that as well. So I'm just going to make this little triangle shape underneath both my eyes. I'm going to look crazy for a minute, so don't mind me. I am using the Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm using the shade Light Medium Sand. Also, I forgot to tell you what shades the foundations were. This is in the shade 330 Toffee. It's way too dark for me, that's why I like to mix it. And the e.l.f. foundation is in the shade Cashew. But I'm going to go ahead and blend this out. I'm also going to use my sponge, and what I like to do with this is I don't like to use a completely clean side. I kind of like to mix my foundation in with the concealer. I don't know why, that's just my preference. It's just what I do. But you don't have to do that. I don't think it makes a difference or anything like that. But okay, so that is the concealer completely blended out. And I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes and my entire face. I know I look crazy, but once everything is set, we're gonna look a little bit more normal. So the setting powders that I like, again, this goes with like the foundation and the primer situation. You want to find a really good setting powder that is going to work with your skin type, again, because setting powders are important to me because I don't like my foundation to transfer. I don't like my foundation to feel tacky, even though I like luminous foundations. But I have to find powders that work well for dry skin all over, because setting powder can easily make your foundation cakey. So the powders that I like are the DERMABLEND Illuminating Banana Powder. I love this setting powder for all over my face, under my eyes, everything. It really just makes your skin look healthy and glowy, and it just works so well. It controls my foundation the entire day. I don't have to touch it up ever, and my skin just looks completely airbrushed and flawless, and I absolutely love this setting powder. If you're dry, I definitely recommend trying this. The other setting powder I like is the BECCA Hydra Mist setting powder. This literally feels like you're putting water on your face, and it works really well. It makes my skin just look airbrushed, like flawless. So I really like this stuff as well. So today I'm going to be using the BECCA Hydra Mist setting powder for my entire face. So I'm going to tap out underneath my eyes, and then I will set it to make sure I get any creases out before setting anything, because we don't want to set creases, obviously. Okay, and now for the rest of my face, I'm going to continue to set with a sponge, not a brush or anything else, with a damp sponge. I feel like this gives me the best application when it comes to powder for having dry skin. I think that it just applies powder way better, in my opinion. So yeah, I am just going to start packing this on. And I'm not shy when it comes to powder, because I just really want my makeup to last. I don't want to have to touch it up throughout the day, so I really go ham with setting powder. I look crazy. I know I look like a powder donut. Ignore it for right now. But just like we put foundation on our neck, we also want to set our neck, because it has foundation on it and you don't want that foundation to transfer and come off. Okay, and then once that's done, I'm just going to test everything away so I can look a little bit normal again. Okay, and then once I'm done dusting everything, I know I still look a little powdery, but that'll change in a minute. But I like to just kind of touch my face to make sure I didn't miss anything and everything is nice and set. I know my skin looks matte right now because you can still see like this, you know, veil of powder all over me. But I assure you, when I'm done with my makeup, it will not look matte at all. Okay, so next I like to just go ahead and set my powder before I move on to anything else. I set my foundation a couple of times throughout my makeup application. We'll set it again later on in the video. So the setting spray that I'm using is the DERMABLEND Power Setter 2-in-1 setting spray. I don't really have like a favorite setting spray. I like the Morphe one. I like the Urban Decay All Nighter. I like this one. I like the Mario Badescu one. I don't have a preference when it comes to setting sprays. Just whatever works for me works for me. Also, I drown myself in setting spray, if you haven't noticed. All right, so once we're done with all of that, I'm going to start contouring and adding my powders and everything like that. So to contour, I'm going to be using the HOOLA bronzer from Benefit, and I like to use like a giant fan brush like this. When it comes to applying your powders on top of your foundation, you want to make sure that your brushes are clean. Even if they're not like washed clean, you want to make sure that they are spot cleaned, because the more product you have on your brushes, the worse the application is going to be on your face. If you have like a lot of product on there, it can be skippy or just it won't apply nicely. You want to make sure your brushes are always clean and soft, because that's when you're going to get the best application. This is the, I believe this is the highlight brush from EcoTools, but I like to use it for contouring. Okay, and then I'm also going to contour my jawline, especially since I've gained some weight from pregnancy. My jaw has just not been very snatched. For bronzing, I do actually bronze separately. So this is my absolute favorite bronzer brush right now. It is so incredibly soft. The shape of it is absolutely perfect. I don't know what this brush is technically called, but it is from Moda. But for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Cocoa Contour Kit, the OG original one. I'm going to be using Dark Cocoa, but I really like this bronzer for my skin tone right now. So this is the bronzer I'm going to go in with. And when I put my bronzer on, I don't sweep it like that like I did with my contour. I just kind of like pat it. So you'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I mean. Okay, and then I'm just going to add a little tiny bit to my forehead as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with my highlighter before I actually go in with my blush. So the brush I have been using recently, I have been obsessed with just like kind of an all over glow, not really like a very intense highlighter. Like, look at my cheek, I'm right here, I got the sun on me. Like, I haven't really been into that lately. I've been into like a more like all over healthy glow. This brush that I use is also from Moda, has been perfect for that. And the highlighter I'm going to go in with is the Anastasia AMREZY highlighter, but I am just going to kind of sweep this on the face. And these bristles are so like sparse and soft that it really does a good job just highlighting the entire face. But I'm gonna highlight my entire face basically. So for blush, I'm gonna be going with the ALAMAR Cosmetics Colorette Blush Trio. And I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is in the shade Seclusion. And I'm gonna be taking this angle brush. I have no idea where this angle brush is from. I don't know what company made it, nothing. I've had this since high school, guys, and it's been the only blush brush I've used for years and years and years. And when I apply my blush, I pat it on. I don't sweep it on, kind of like I did with my bronzer. And because my face is really round, I like to focus the majority of my blush back here as opposed to the apples of the cheeks, because I don't want to draw attention to the roundness of my face. I will bring it down to the apples of my cheeks, but most of my color is back here. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and set my face one more time. And then I'm going to finish up my eyes and the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I will be right back. Alright guys, so I'm completely done with all of my makeup. I'm going to give you guys a close-up of my skin so you can see like how good my foundation looks, and this literally lasts all day. I went to a Clemson signing here in South Carolina, and we stood in lines for hours, and it was extremely hot. I was sweating everywhere. I mean, my hairline, my upper lip, everything. I was sweating so bad, especially being pregnant. I was sweating so bad, and this foundation did not budge. The way I applied it, everything, like it still looked flawless at the end of the day. Yeah, this is how I always apply my foundation. Even when I'm doing my full coverage Friday videos, this is how I apply all the products. This is how I apply everything on top of the foundation, how I set it, everything. This is how I achieve flawless full coverage every single time I put on makeup. So this is what my skin looks like up close. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on Friday with a new full coverage Friday video.